Hey guys, and welcome to a vlog series I'm going to start on my journey through martial arts. Okay, so I recently wrote a blog and put it on my website, but I thought, you know what, I'm just going to relay that in a video. So for those that prefer to watch rather than read, you can still hear about my story, my journey, and how I got started in martial arts. So for those of you that don't know, I have a Thai mother and an English father, okay, and they are like chalk and cheese. So my dad is super laid back, chilled, really quiet, super patient. You know, I don't think I ever heard him shout at me once growing up. But my mum, on the other hand, is this huge ball of energy, and she radiates whatever emotion she's feeling at the time. Okay, so if she's happy, we know about it. If she is sad, we know about it. And if she's angry, then we definitely know about it. Okay, I once watched her chase a guy off our driveway with a wok. All right, my mum can talk to anyone. I remember walking back from Asda, one of the supermarkets, and she would offer a stranger some grapes. If we were on the bus, she would talk to the person next to her, you know. And where we grew up in Darlington, she kind of had like an open door policy, so neighbours could come and go, you know, as they pleased. And my mum would always host parties and social gatherings. She would cook loads of food and everyone was invited. I think this is a Thai thing, definitely a village culture. So my mum is actually from the north of Thailand, from a village called Now, and every 18 months or so, growing up as a kid, we would visit this village and spend a few weeks there. And you know, I had a lot of Thai family there. So my mum grew up in a little wooden hut/house in the village, and I never got to meet her parents, my grandparents. They passed before I was born, but there was a house next door as well, and a lot of my family stayed there. So that's where we would stay when we went. And in this house, there was no hot water. It had a classic Thai squat toilet, and you know, the washing was done by hand still. So I'm grateful I got to experience that way of life growing up. So I didn't appreciate this until recently, but my mum would give me to other people to be looked after, okay? In Thailand, she didn't need to, and a lot of the times I didn't want to go, but off I'd pop on the back of someone's moped to either come back either later that day or the next day. Okay, and I obviously, but I didn't speak Thai. I still don't. I only speak a few words, and they rarely spoke English. So yeah, it was a strange experience, but I think that's helped. I think that's helped kind of shape who I am today, because I am like my mum in a lot of ways. So I can start a conversation with people. In fact, I tried to do it once whilst I was stuck on the A1 in standstill traffic. Okay, and the car next to me had all of the windows down. So I was like, all right, I'll start a bit of conversation. I put the window down. I looked over and the guy just looked at me, put his windows up and carried on looking forward and wouldn't make eye contact with me. So it doesn't always work. But kind of going back, so growing up, I was quite a shy kid. I really took after my dad early on, so I was quiet, reserved. I didn't even speak very loud, and I was more than happy playing with my toys by myself. However, I did enjoy playing with other kids as well. You know, there's a few of us in the street, and we'd be out until, you know, the street lights came on and we had to come home. But I had one friend in particular called Nikita growing up, okay, and she was like the yin to my yang, all right? She was confident, sassy, a little bit of a bad influence sometimes, but we did have the best time growing up. So I'm still friends with Nikita now, and even though we don't speak as much as we used to, I know that if I called her up and was like, mate, shit's hit the fan, she will be there all guns blazing. And Nikita's mum was called Simone, and I think Simone was the yin to my mum's yang. Alright, so my mum's this like fiery, emotional, temper, you know, this huge ball of energy, and Simone was always calm and thoughtful and collected, and she's amazing, and she still is. She's like my stepmom, and I am super lucky and grateful to have had both of their influences growing up. So going back to when I was about 6 years old, Nikita asked if I wanted to go Thai boxing. Okay, so Simone's husband, Paul, had a Thai boxing gym, and I asked my mum, and she reluctantly said yes. My mum is old school Thai, girls don't fight. She still thinks that now. So she's not overly impressed with what I do. But anyways, I went along to this Thai boxing session, and I hated it. So obviously I was young at the time, but I remember the parents could stay and watch, and there was a blue canvas map, and we had to run to each corner of the map, and there was someone holding some pads, and we just had to hit the pads a few times, do all four, and come back to the start, and then someone else would go, like a little relay. And I got so worked up and so embarrassed that I had to do something with all these people watching. I started crying, and I didn't want to do it. So one of the older girls there at the time, I can't remember her name, but she was so lovely to me at the time. So she kind of took me behind one of the walls so no one could see, and she did little pads with me until the session was over. But after that session, I never went back. So there you have it. I had my first Thai boxing class at around 6 years old, 6 or 7 years old. But that wasn't really the start of my martial arts career. I left it alone for a number of years, and then I came back to it when I was a teenager, which I will cover in the next vlog or vlog. But as a martial arts coach now, so I teach children's classes at the lab. I've taught in a number of local schools here in Darlington, and every now and again there is that one kid that comes in and they don't want to join in, or they cry, or they freeze on the spot, or they want to go home, and you know, it totally reminds me of my experience, and I always wonder, you know, how they're going to turn out in years to come. And you know, teaching kids is something I put off for a long time, because, you know, having kids scares the shit out of me. Being responsible for many humans, you know, that's a huge deal. is in my eyes anyway, and you know, I didn't want that responsibility to influence young children, you know, because that's what we do as adults. Every action we do, every behaviour we do, and how we respond to each moment throughout a child's life obviously has such an impact on them. So yeah, but now I feel confident. I love teaching kids. But it just got me thinking, you know, I remember being told I was shy. My mum would, if I kind of, you know, went in on myself and I didn't want to say hi to a stranger to me would be my mum's friend or whoever, you know, my mum would say, oh, she's just shy. And, you know, I think the more you tell a kid that, the more it reinforces that belief. So I'm not sure at what point they stopped. I'm not sure if my mum and dad told me, you know, to believe in myself. I can't remember. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. I don't know. And plus, even though my mum would say, "Oh, she's shy," didn't matter. Cool. See you later. Off I'd go. Right? I didn't really have a choice. But I do know that once I started training martial arts again, 100% it helped me grow, become confident, believe in myself. You know, the training sessions, the grueling ones, the fun ones, the traveling, the meeting new people, you know, the whole experience of what martial arts can offer definitely helped me grow into who I am today, and go from the shy kid that, you know, couldn't hit pads in front of a few parents, who crumbled under, you know, that in that environment, to walking out in front of 15,000 people on the other side of the world to fight on like 2 days' notice. Alright, so it's crazy how you develop and what plays a part as you're growing up, and for me, martial arts was definitely a positive one, even though it wasn't. No, it was. Okay, it wasn't when I was 6. At the time, it wasn't a positive experience, but if I'd have never started that class at 6, maybe I never would have gone back to it later on. Who knows? But ultimately, it was a positive experience, definitely. So, thank you for tuning in to my vlog. Like I say, I'm kind of just relaying the written version. So if you did read my vlog, then this is pretty much the same. Please be sure to hit subscribe if you want to stay tuned and up to date with what's going on in my life. God, I don't know why I've got to do accents like that. Everyone jokes that every accent I attempt to do comes out Jamaican. It's kind of like a running joke. I don't think they're that bad. Anyways, I have digressed. Hit subscribe, leave a comment if you have any questions. I will get back to you as soon as possible. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I will catch you next time. Mwah. Bye.